Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. How are we doing? My name is Annie McManus. Really happy to be here to chat with the one and only Lola Young. Let's get her on stage, Lola. Hello. Here she comes. Here she comes. Like this sofa we had, like when I was doing the thing, it was really low. So wait, watch this.
It's really low.
Hey, baby.
Do you want me to hold your cocktail while you sit down, babe?
no,
Here you
yeah.
go. There you go.
Okay, ready? Wait.
Hey!
Thanks. It's like the most like low sofa. I actually bought this sofa for my house, but it's very low. Anyway, hi guys. I'm really like excited to be here, and thank you so much for coming and listening to, watching the video album. Firstly, I'm just a lot. Yeah, you know me. Firstly, thank you to YouTube and for hosting this. And like, this looks incredible. Like, I can't believe that this is all for me. To be honest, it's really fucking weird. But thank you. I love you. This is amazing. And thanks to Annie for asking me questions
It's such
in a
a
minute.
pleasure to be here. Yeah, it's inside and outside. I don't know if you've seen outside, but all the billboards as well. It's amazing.
insane.
Guys, what did you think of the album? Yeah. I mean, it really is incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've loved listening to it. And every time I listen to it, I love it even more.
Yay. Thank you.
Let's, first of all, talk about the title. I'm only fucking myself.
Yeah.
Get comfortable.
I'm trying.
I've kind of done a little leg talk. I'm kind of
Yeah, that's
like
better.
this.
That's better. That's
yeah,
better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me about the album, because obviously the fucking is crossed out. So talk us through that, please.
That's supposed to be like I'm no longer fucking myself, but I still am in many ways, so I didn't quite get that bit sorted yet. But yeah, the title obviously came out of me and a conversation with my manager. He basically was like, you're like going through this whirlwind of like battling your own shit, and through that you're only really hurting yourself. And I thought, oh fucking, what a better way to like make sure no radio plays it, make sure no one can do it on TV, than to put a big fat swear word in there. So yeah, I'm only fucking myself was birthed out of like a lot of. It's funny because obviously there's the sex doll, which symbolizes a lot about kind of the kind of like lifeless like version of myself. Yeah, I mean the whole album talks a lot about sex, but in quite a like, it's a masking way, and it's like actually what's at the underbelly, what's at the core of what I'm talking about. But the first bit is just like really like me trying to mask some shit and like not face it head on.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned sex. It runs all the way through that in the song titles and everything, but there's definitely a sense within the album, lyrically and sonically, of a duality, like really strong, really fragile. Like there's kind of two things going on at the same time a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I feel like there's always there's always the kind of realness. There's always the truth.
Yeah.
And then at the top of it is like what I really want people to hear, and underneath is what I really am going through. And that's the kind of duality that runs throughout the album. You know, the starting song is like, oh fucking hell. So loud. I'm loud enough as it is. The starting song is called Fuck Everyone, and that basically just talks about like, it's like a pansexual anthem, but I've yet to include I've yet to include the they thems but I've started with girl. I really want to fuck guys and fuck girls who don't like me. They don't mind. Not the best lyrics I've ever come up with, but yeah. And so I guess it's just about like the face that I put on versus what I'm experiencing, what I'm going through, as I've said about 2 times there.
So is it true that you made it in the first half of this year, the album?
Yeah, I'm
so kind of a quick turnaround then.
Yeah, I made it very quickly. Some of the music was actually made a while before that. Spiders was made in Paris, and then a lot of it was made at Electric Lady in New York, which is an amazing studio that has a lot of legacy. It was made pretty much before Messi was blowing up and all that was happening, so it was kind of in and around that.
Like, where were you in your life at the start of this year when you started going in like intentionally to make an album? What space were you in?
I think I was just feeling very, very shit, to be honest.
Right.
And I was feeling pretty awful. I was struggling with my battle with addiction, which is an ongoing battle, but
Right.
I speak quite openly about that on the record, and it's all there. And I feel like, you know, this kind of industry is hard to navigate, and even harder to navigate sober, but I am pushing through and doing it. Yeah, a lot of it was just me kind of, I needed to have an outlet because I didn't have an outlet elsewhere.
Yeah.
And my only other outlet was very detrimental,
Yeah.
and very kind of like destructive. So this was my way of like telling, you know, expressing myself, pulling out some hard truths, and I chose to do that on record.
And how was the process of making it? Is it, I mean, when you're being that raw with yourself and introspective, I can imagine it might be a lot.
Yeah, it was difficult at times. I mean, like, a lot of it was written when I was struggling mentally, but I think a lot of it was written with a kind of future. You know, Dealer, as an example, was written hoping that I would be able to come out of of it, and that struggle, and not like that anymore was just when I was a couple of months sober, and you know, it was all kind of in this whirlwind, but coming out of a really long-term relationship, and it was all in and amongst that kind of like madness. But I felt like I needed to release something, and you know, making music is the way that I do that.
Did you go in with any sort of intention of what you wanted to say?
No,
Yeah,
I never
amazing.
do, and it usually comes out as a big blurt. But
And then when it does come out, do you sometimes listen back to your songs and be surprised in terms of what's come out of you?
Yeah, subconscious art is definitely a thing. I feel like, you know, a lot of the time you can speak about something or lyrically or, you know, whatever, and the meaning comes back to you later as to what you're really talking about. You adjust the meaning as you go along. Like a song like Spiders, I didn't really know what, it would just kind of poured out of me. And then obviously the Kill All the Spiders lyric was massively me talking about to anybody in my life, going like, look, please just kill all the things I'm fearful of, because I can't sleep or I can't do anything if they're there.
Yeah, yeah. That is such a beautiful song on the album. Like, really is. Don't you agree, guys? It's so...
Thank you.
It's so powerful, and feels really like the centerpiece of the album. Like, it's such a moment. It's hard not to stop everything you're doing when you listen to it and just really be in the song. How was it writing that song? And I mean, you've just said you get different meanings from it now, but at the time of putting that down, did you feel like...
It definitely felt like a big release, and it was a big, like, kind of cathartic moment. I remember writing it. I remember the place I was in, and it did just pour out of me. That was a really special one that I wrote in the room, and it just felt really natural and really like, really, it felt like when we were producing it, it felt like this feels like a big moment.
Yeah.
And Spiders is just like a song that I really stand by and believe in, regardless of you know, what it does publicly. I just really like care about that song. So that's one that I feel really passionate about, regardless, you know, because of what it means to me.
And the way that you sang it as well, it's a real purity in it. I think you sound different on that, in the way that you're singing it than you do on other songs. Was that purposeful, or did that just come out again?
No,
in a way?
I think that came out, and I had a sore throat and like lost my voice, so it just kind of came out like that. But I definitely wanted to kind of consciously push some areas of my voice in that song too.
Yeah. Another one of my total favorites from the album is Post-Sex Clarity.
Yeah.
So gorgeous. Can you tell us about that one, please?
That was written about this person that I was seeing, but nothing happened there.
Well, you got a song out of it.
I got a great song out of it. It's about the feeling of like, I think a lot of the time what I wanted to explore in this album, other than the kind of talking about some personal issues and battling with addiction, the other thing that I really wanted to shed light on is like sexual liberation for females, because you know, I wanted to, you know, post-sex clarity reminds you of post-nut clarity, right? And that's such a thing that like that men talk about, where they talk about like, oh, fucking this gut bitch, and then like, you know, after that, like just not wanting to even look at her face. I'm like, I don't want to look at your face ever. I never wanted to see your face in the first place. So that kind of sums up the feeling of like, basically having processed clarity and being like, oh my God, I actually don't want to I actually don't mind looking at you after this.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, maybe this could be a thing. Turns out I never can. But at the same time, it was like the power that you can have. Like one thing was a similar sentiment where I wanted to go like, you know, it's not always the men that need to be like controlling or like dominant or,
Right.
you know, feeling like they're the ones in charge. It can be both ways, and there's a lot of power and a lot of control in that.
Yeah.
So process clarity is basically just about having that feeling and not wanting to literally murder them after.
Yeah. When you were growing up listening to music, did you have someone, or was there someone in your life that you listened to that provided for you what you are trying to provide for the female fans that are listening to you? A kind of raw honesty.
I think someone who I really respect in music at the moment is Billie Eilish. I've always have done. I'm Violet's looking at me like, but basically, in terms of stylistically and what she stands for, I think it's really important. But I grew up with like a lot of different like music. I mean, I think there's so many incredible artists.
Yeah.
I think British is obviously Amy and Adele. You can't really deny that. But I think what's happening now in music is really important with Chapel, with Sabrina Carpenter, with Charlie. I think they're like changing the game for what it means to be a pop star. And I like the place that we're in music at the moment.
C-Matt as well.
C-Matt, I love C-Matt. She shouted me out in a big way.
Yes,
Did you see that?
I saw that.
Yeah, I just thought that was absolutely gorgeous, and I'm a big C-Matt fan.
But it made total sense when she said it. I was like, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, another song on the album that really stopped me in my tracks was Who Fucking Cares?
Yeah.
Oh my God, such a beautiful recording. It sounds very raw, the recording. Like, it's so intimate, like up close, like you're literally in the room next to me.
I literally was in my bedroom, I just wrote it. I wrote it and I recorded it on the day, and then I released that version. I didn't want it like produced out, or I know like my team were going like, this one needs drums, etc. But I was like, no, it doesn't.
And so that was your decision.
That
decision.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I really care about that song, and it's very sad. But I wanted that on the album. I wanted a moment of introspection. I wanted a moment where people could really understand and feel what I was going through in a very raw and vulnerable way. I didn't want it sugarcoat it in any way. So that's just how it is. And it's a sad song. I struggle to listen to it occasionally, but
yeah, it's incredibly powerful for how it sounds and for the lyrically as well.
Thank you.
And like obviously in the song you're kind of thinking about happiness and what it is and how you want it, but not really knowing what it is for you. And then I thought it was interesting how at the end you kind of keep going back to, but who fucking cares? But who fucking cares? There's a kind of dismissal.
Yeah.
And I was wondering where you think that dismissal comes from, that part of your character that like, you're kind of going somewhere profound, but you won't let yourself at the same time.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think the way that I look at that is just projection. I just, everyone has like a very instinctive way of deflecting, and the kind of not wanting to go there because it makes it easier for them to carry something or to hold something. It's easier to go, actually, I don't want to deface this, or I don't want you to talk about this, or I don't want me to feel that. And I think a lot of that song is me going, you know what, but who really fucking cares? It's not really that deep.
Yeah.
When really it is deep, really it is like painful. And I think that was like what that song is about. Like at the end, I say who fucking cares, because it's definitely not me. And I think that is the biggest lie I've ever told. But like, that's really what I felt. I wanted everyone to fuck off. I wanted to just fucking snort lines of coke in my bedroom. Like that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want the people telling me that they gave a fuck about me, and I didn't want to be happy, and I didn't feel like I deserved to be happy. And so that song sums up what it was deflecting and kind of pushing away people, but also pushing away myself and actually having to go there in that sense,
Yeah. And this voice that we hear at the beginning that kind of bookends the album, who is this voice?
So Mandisa, who I don't think's here, but they are a close friend of mine, have been for a very long time, and they sent me a voice note, and I don't really know, I think maybe I was a bit manic, but I was just like, look, I'll put this on the beginning of the album. And then Tia, my beautiful baby there, She's one of my best friends in the world, and she basically we were sitting we had a sleepover, and we were like lying in bed. I was like, can you like, I was like kind of saying like, if you do a poem right now, I'll put it on the album. She was like, fuck off, no you won't. And then she did it, and I was like, you're an absolute cunt. At the end I was like, this is perfect, you're an absolute C word, like that, what better way to... And she's an incredible poet and an incredible person. I love her very dearly. She's from Newcastle, and so her voice just sounds so sexy and hot in it. But yeah, I'm very very lucky to have such incredible friends. Violet, May, Martel, Lily, Eliana, like they're really my rocks, and they really power me through life. They really like hold me and ground me and just protect me at all costs. It's very important to have friends like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredible gift to have that. Well, whilst you're going through so much of a mad time, right? To have that groundedness.
Yeah, I think it's just like, they tell me about myself. They don't bullshit me, and they're fucking annoying. So it's like you can't really ask for more in a friendship, to be honest.
How are you feeling about this album coming out to the world?
I feel amazing about it. I mean, I think this is the best piece of work I've ever released. It's while I fiddle with this pepper.
With the chili pepper?
It's the most honest I've ever been on a record. It's the most honest I've ever been in my life. Speaking about that last song, I've never been as honest with that. I don't think with anyone.
Right.
So it's like my way of expressing being true to myself, being as open and as vulnerable, as pure as I possibly can be. And I think it's important to talk about these things, and hopefully make people feel understood, seen, heard, and make sure that people don't feel alone. I think that's the most important thing that this album is going to do. Continue to shit on their ex as well, because that seems like a running theme in my music at the moment. I don't even care about them anymore, to be honest, but it keeps coming back.
I always think third albums are like really interesting times in an artist's career, because you've had the first album, which is just kind of raw passion, and then you have the second album, which often feels like there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And sometimes you compromise because of that pressure. I'm not saying you have, but you see a lot of artists doing that. Yeah. And then you get to the third album, and there's a sense of the artist knowing who they are more and being more comfortable in their skin, and maybe having been through some stuff within the industry and finding the right place for them or the right team for them or whatever. And I wonder, like, this vulnerability and honesty that you're able to show in this album, is there a place that you have to be in as an artist, like professionally, in order to feel brave enough to make yourself vulnerable in that way?
I think there's a combination of having the right team,
right?
Having the right, actually this is going to sound controversial, but the right amount of success, because
sure,
with success comes control, and as soon as people start listening and hearing and understanding and going, look, I fuck with that, then other people are going to go, oh, let her do her thing because she clearly knows what she's talking about. Yeah. There was a bit of that too, but I think my team have always trusted me. They've always, Island, Shout Island Records, everyone from Island, my management team, they are very, very supportive. They always have, they've never got close to going, dropping me, thankfully. At one point I thought they were about to, but they didn't. They clung on.
I bet they're glad they didn't, though.
Yeah, I mean, that they've just been so integral in me continuing on this journey. And also, Jack as an example, just giving Jack his flowers for a second, he is always been letting me have my space, right. And he's one of the A&Rs at Island, and always giving my space, always trusting my gut, and believing in me, and that's been really important. And to have a great, strong, powerful, and obviously like-minded team, I think has been incredible. But more than that, I think I've always trusted myself, and that can be regardless of the pain that I've experienced or the things that I've gone through or the hardships I've had to face. Me going, you know what, the music's the only thing I'm good at. Yeah. Therefore, I have to stand firm in it. I have to stand my ground in certain conversations, in certain, and so therefore, that's all it's about. If I believe in myself, then I feel like other people can too.
Yeah. Tell me about how, songwriting and writing the songs you write, what are the pros and cons of being a songwriter when it comes to romantic relationships?
I don't get the time for that anymore because I'm always away. But I'm very glad to not dating at the moment.
Right.
Because dating is absolute pain in the arse, as I'm sure you're all aware of. Can be beautiful, don't get me wrong, it can be absolutely beautiful. I just haven't experienced that yet. Knowing that like Messy is about you must be suck a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Wish You Were Dead is another one. I mean, knowing that song's about you is not the nicest thing to know of. But in all honesty, I think there's like love is like, and I think we don't put enough emphasis on platonic love and the love from relationships that aren't romantic or aren't intimate necessarily, or can be intimate too. And that's where I get my most joyous and fulfilling relationships out, from. And I get a lot of inspiration from people that are close to me that aren't necessarily romantic too. So I don't think I answered your question in any sense of the word there, but...
What would you say recently? I mean, you mentioned Billie. I know you met Billie and you went on tour with her for a few dates. Who have you met that you have been most inspired by in terms of how they run their shit?
SZA, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, SZA runs her shit. She knows what she's doing. She's also been a massive supporter of me.
I love she comments on pretty much every post.
Yeah,
she's like your biggest fan. I'm obsessed.
I literally love her, and I'm such a big fan of her music. I always have been. I think she has like always been strong, and she is independent in her work. Like, she refused to like sing in front of me, so she does it her way. For sure, which is like a powerful move, I think. And she's like, she knows, she works with her engineer. She's like very dominant with that side of things. I respect it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the visual quickly, seeing as we are, at a YouTube event. The videos have been absolutely incredible. And
thank you.
Just your creative vision when it comes to how your music is visualized. How has that evolved?
So I worked with Connor, and obviously shout out Holly, who I love to pieces, who works at Ireland too. And basically it was massively like, it was a very collaborative process. I knew that I wanted the doll to be so like integral in it. There's like a sad undertone to each visual, but it's also very much in line with what the song's talking about. You've got the kind of blowing up of the doll with Why Do I Feel Better When I Hurt You, which is almost like I'm talking to myself. And there's so many beautiful parts in that. I mean, obviously the best one is like the last song, which is just basically me shoveling a pool of cocaine. It wasn't cocaine, I wish it was. And it's basically just like each visual just symbolizes what the song is talking about, and really seems to reflect tonally, I think, of that. But yeah, I think it was just a conversation that we had. We had multiple conversations just discussing how we wanted it to look, who we wanted to direct the visual aspect. But it turns out it looks amazing. I'm really proud of it.
Yeah.
And the simplicity and the kind of early 2000s-esque kind of like almost it looks like an old, like a very digital photo shoot, which I love. And then it's kind of that it's very stark colors, and I love it.
Yeah. Have you ever had designs to act?
No. I used to play, if anyone knows about park bench. No one knows about that.
What is it?
Basically, I used to like do this when I was like young, and you'd get up on like, it's like basically improv.
Right.
And that's basically it. So does somebody know about park bench?
So you used to get on the park bench?
Like no. You'd have to pretend you're on a park bench. Someone sits down, and then somebody else comes up, and like you have to play a character. That's all the acting I've ever done.
Right.
And like I used to always improv being like an old Jamaican lady. No way. I know you know.
Okay, so rest of this year, what's it looking like, and how are you feeling about it? So where are we? September. So the last 4 months of this year, the album will be out. You're going to be touring, I presume.
Yeah, I'm going to be touring. I'm touring America, North America.
Hey.
Europe, UK, and it's gonna be a lot, but it's gonna be amazing. I keep getting people in my DMs like, "Can't you come here?" And I'm like, just wait. I haven't announced it all yet. And also, can you let a bitch breathe? I'm tired. I need to breathe. I need to like have a day off, but I love America and all of the runner shows I'm very excited about. So
as you've toured, have you found a way to make touring work for you better? Like, have you got things that have conditional things that you have to do?
Conditional things I have to do. I definitely like. I used to be really bad with warming up, but now I have to like warm up, cool down. I have to be in bed by a certain time. Occasionally, sometimes I push that. And before I come on stage, I kind of need silence. I can't really do the whole let's party beforehand and like get into the vibe. I need like, I usually put my inners and I need 10, 20 minutes just to process things. I get very overstimulated. So I don't want too many people in my dressing room. My team will know about that. I get very pissed off if people are coming in and out. So basically, that's just basically about being a bitch, being a little,
And how has the actual act of being on stage changed, if at all? Like, have you become more comfortable there, or it's the same?
It's different. I used to talk a lot more and have a lot more space. That now I feel like I own it a little bit more. I feel like I've come into myself and learn what people like about me, and I think that's become a lot more easier to navigate as I've gone through, as I've done more shows. I think it's become a tighter show for sure. But I'm excited to play the new songs because that's what's really important, is getting these new songs out. I can't wait for like Spiders and like Post-Sex Clarity to be out in the world so I can perform them live.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, last question, Lola. We talked about the song Who Fucking Cares, and in that song you're talking about and ruminating about happiness. What is happiness to you, as much as you can define it now?
I think happiness to me is not where we need to get to, because happiness sounds like it's like a state, and that can change. And like if you're happy, you can be sad. But I think, and therefore those states are like temporary. They can change. And I think happiness to me is about being content and being at peace with yourself. I don't think I've necessarily found that place yet to stay in that place. I don't think I've found the way of staying in that place yet, but I think it's about being at peace, being calm, being present, But I wouldn't say that, if you're happy, you can be sad, and therefore I don't feel like that's the place that we should look to necessarily.
Definitely. It's the whole duality thing, is it?
Exactly,
you can be both.
Exactly. That's a nice way to round it off.
Yeah. Listen, thank you so much.
Thanks, Annie. You're the best.
What a pleasure to chat to you. I'm Only Fucking Myself, out next Friday, folks. Woo!